Good Friday. Happy Good Friday. When we remember Jesus' death, well, that's a bit weird, because why is it Good Friday then? Because death's not good, and Good Friday certainly wasn't good for Jesus, but it was good for us. Now let's have a look in the Bible. So this is from Mark chapter 15. The soldiers brought Jesus to Golgotha, which is Skull Hill. They offered him a mild painkiller, but he wouldn't take it, and then they nailed him to a cross. They divided up his clothes and threw dice to see who would get them. They nailed him up at 9 o'clock in the morning. The charge against him, King of the Jews, was printed on a poster. Now, along with him, they crucified two criminals, one to his right and the other to his left. People watching and passing along the road jeered, shaking their heads in mock lament. You bragged that you could tear down the temple and then rebuild it in 3 days. Well, show us your stuff. Save yourself. If you're really God's son, come down off that cross. The high priests, along with the religious scholars, were right there, mixing it up with the rest of them, having a great time, poking fun at him. He saved others, but he can't save himself. Messiah is he, King of Israel? Then let him climb down from that cross. We'll all become believers then. At noon, the sky became extremely dark. The darkness lasted 3 hours. At 3 o'clock, Jesus groaned, crying loudly, Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani, which means, my God, why have you abandoned me? Some of the bystanders who heard him said, listen, he's calling for Elijah. Someone ran off and soaked a sponge in sour wine, put it on a stick and gave it to him to drink, saying, let's see if Elijah comes to take him down. But Jesus gave a loud cry, gave his last breath. And at that moment, the temple curtain ripped right down the middle. When the Roman captain, standing guard in front of him, saw that he had quit breathing, he said, this has to be the Son of God. So why Good Friday? Well, it certainly wasn't good for Jesus, but it was very good for us. But why? Why did Jesus have to die at all? Surely if God is God and God is all powerful, then he could just forgive us for the things we do wrong without anyone having to die. Well, let's have a look at it this way. Sorry, the cat keeps getting on my lap. Get off. There we go. No. Right. So God is pure and perfect and good and true, and God has to be pure and perfect and good and true. For us to have a relationship with him, we need to stay good and perfect and true, but we don't. Because every time we do something wrong, every time we separate ourselves from God, because even if you do a tiny thing wrong, or loads of stuff wrong, whoa, no, because now imperfect and perfect have mixed, and it's all just imperfect, and God can't be imperfect. God has to be perfect and good and true and right, and we are just not. But Jesus didn't add any of that sin, any of that imperfection. Jesus didn't do anything wrong. But Jesus did choose to take the punishment. He chose to take that separation, which everything that we do wrong separates us from our relationship with God. Jesus chose to take that separation for us. And in dying, he paid the price for it. Now, if we ask, Jesus gives us a whole new start and a whole new relationship with God. And that through Jesus paying the price, We are good and pure and righteous and holy and perfect. Again, in God's sight. So that's why Good Friday was bad for Jesus, but very, very good for us. See you on Sunday. Easter Sunday. Now that's an entirely different celebration. Cheers.